Welcome back! We've been playing this game for a while now, but we are getting close to the end, slowly. We are continuing the case Sacrificial Lamb, which is the last case for the main quest. After completing this, you will get a point of no return, but don't worry, the game will warn us. Before we are able to complete the game though, there are still a few things we have to do, like the Tale of the Empty House, the case Gone Girl, and there are still some bandit lads on the map. Should we do those as well? For now, let's start with wrapping up the last case for the main questline. So I'm back. What were we doing? We needed to speak to a lot of people. We need to inspect the evidence, speak to Vogel, speak to Santos. And that's it. Constable Oswald will be in the archive during my investigation. He left everything he has for the case on the table. So what do I need to investigate the police station? Is that what this means? Because this is such a location, isn't it? Somehow, because I took a break, the game dumped me outside. Don't know why, but let's go back in. And why not take a look at the archive, since it's right over here. And look at the evidence. Oh, evidence room, I mean.
Good day. Your ticket, please, if you want me to help you.
Where is it, though? I have a lot of junk. Let me see. Invitation. I want to say something else, which wasn't a nice word. Reports. Evidence ticket.
I'd like to check the evidence from this case.
Still wearing the
And who are you?
outfit.
Oswald sent me. I'm a consulting detective.
His partner, then? Let me see. Ah, a ritual murder. What a bunch
Degenerates.
of degenerates. Wait a second. I'll bring it to the table.
Ah, thanks. Well, there's a lot here. Oh, one start on the left, but I guess.
A heavily perfumed handkerchief with the initials KM in the corner.
Yeah, this is good, Manchios. His ring?
It's a miracle this ruby hasn't tempted anyone.
I agree. And keys.
All the keys of the mansion on one golden ring.
Also, this isn't the game lagging, by the way. My mouse is acting up. I don't know what's wrong with it.
That's not for bedtime reading.
Blood and Mandrake. Is this some kind of ritual book? Wait, whose stuff is this?
This ex libris belongs to Manchios Library.
The Power of Love, Blood and Mandrake. The police found this occult book in Matista's bag during the arrest. Well, she does seem a little occult, yeah. According to the ex libris, the tome was taken from Mr. Manchios' collection. It contains illustrations and descriptions of a ritual similar to the crime scene. Prepare the naked body of a recently deceased object of interest. Draw symbols of Mars and Venus to enhance the power you possess, to use the force of male and female nature. Pierce his heart with a golden dagger to be rid of the blood that does not love you. Draw a symbol representing your love. While waiting for the resurrection, recite the charm.
The book describes a ritual similar to the one performed in the altar room.
That is very suspicious. Keys.
Her key to the altar room.
That was missing, right? What's this? Looks like voodoo.
A handcrafted charm that contains hair and nail clippings.
Gross. This is Vogel. His drugs?
An emergency kit
For boredom. Well, he told me about that, so. Letter from Fabio. The letter that was found in Vogel's evidence box. Is your mind unsound? You can't control your bitterness, not around me anyway. For me, it's too great a risk to ignore that kind of behavior. I can be, speak and play with anyone I choose. I'm not another Matista. You pay me, but you haven't bought me. Of course, I'll keep all your generous donations, even though they hardly compensate for your last terrible outburst. I'm leaving you, although Matista will still be around. Fabio. I think this was sent to Kurt Manchios.
Not the time for privacy.
What's this?
Werner's personal sketchbook. Thank you, officer.
Are we not gonna look at that sketchbook? Might be evidence in there. Wait. Oh no, I thought I heard something, but they're just scribbling away, I guess. Wait, you are from the party. What are you doing here? Laughing. Are you being held here for some reason? Let me see. There's nothing here. Oh, the kid is here. Funny. What is he doing here?
The officer told me to wait while he got his superior. I think I'm in.
That's funny. I told him to go here, so the game remembers that. Cool. Right. So speak to Vogel. Why not? All of them are here. Funny. Drinking with John.
Don't look at them. They'll serve us if necessary.
Right. Where is Vogel? I think this is no one. Wait, wasn't he at the back? Someone said. John said I found Vogel. He's here.
Werner, are you all right?
Oh, yes. Everything's fine. In fact, it's something of a family reunion. My brother spent quite some time in this place himself.
Your brother the
You
doctor?
should not be here. I told the police everything I knew, but they refused to let you go. They require proof to free you.
Ha! What did you expect? The mighty Sherlock Holmes swans in, tells the officers what to think, and the world obeys?
Of course not. Anyway, I struck a deal with the constable, and I've got a free hand in the investigation. I find proof to solve the case for him. He obtains files about my mother's death for me.
Well done. If one has the power or will and can act, then one must. I wonder, suppose you couldn't get the proof to your truth. Would you tell a lie to the guard that enabled my freedom, knowing my innocence?
Don't do
Would that
it.
not be just?
No. I wouldn't lie for you. I really don't think Sherlock would do that.
There are lines I will not cross, Werner. I will do my best to secure your release, but with proof, not deception.
Really? How many white lies have you told on this island?
Manipulation.
Why not for me? Why not another?
That is absurd. I can resolve this without compromises. Do not give up hope.
If you're innocent, they'll let you go. I hope. This I want to know about.
So, the police found a letter from Fabio in your pocket.
I cannot tell if it was truly in my pocket at all. Perhaps it was placed there later.
Well, that is one hypothesis. If it were true, then how did it get there?
No clue. But this night has been rather eccentric. Such a detail could have easily eluded me.
Indeed. Do you recall reading it?
I can't remember that either. But I tend to respect privacy. Reading others' personal notes is not one of my perversities.
Yeah, it wasn't written to you. I think it was written to Kurt. He doesn't know how Fabio's letter got into his pocket. He didn't read it, he says. Matista can ask about, but what is interesting to ask Vogel? Let me see. Santos should tell Constable Oswald and Archives to question him. Oh, that's what I need to do. Alright. Witness deposition?
I have learned who told the police about the crime. It was Santos Pinchetti,
Do I know him?
the major domo of the manor. He cleans up after you.
Well, then he does his job perfectly. All but invisible. I couldn't tell you the first thing about him.
Oh, that's it. Imprisoned Vogel. Wait, what do I get? I asked Vogel about Santos Pinchetti, but he has no idea of who the man is. Right, so I have this letter. Should I ask Matista about this? Maybe, but it doesn't have that symbol, so. But I do need to ask someone about this, so maybe, yeah. Right, so we'll go to Matista first, if I can find her somewhere. And then we'll go to the archive room to ask that officer to get us Santos, who's also very suspicious. So where is it? The book.
This book, The Power of Love, Blood and Mandrake, what do you hope to achieve?
To learn more about the invisible strengths that govern us. Occultism is real. The master who fell that night when Fabio and I escaped, I made him fall. I cast a spell on him and it worked.
Or was it a coincidence?
The universe is rarely so lazy.
If you say so.
If you say so. Okay, ask her more. Matista claims she uses occultism for various purposes. She used some white magic on Fabio. Right. I didn't know. I can ask this.
This is the letter the police found in Mr. Vogel's pocket. Fabio wrote it. Do you know anything about it?
I don't. Although I can feel Fabio's energy. It's there, but it refuses to let me analyze it.
I can say this.
Do you practice occult rituals?
For protection? For fortune? To wash away the ugliness of the world? Sometimes to survive. I have the gift, and I'm learning to use it better.
Did you use your gift on Fabio?
I only used white magic. Love charms lately. Fabio became so distant. I just wanted him to be with me, but I suppose I'm not as skilled as I thought.
Interesting. So that's a motive. Let me see. These two know. Matista may have used a ritual on Fabio. Matista may have performed a ritual on Fabio to bring his love back. So he had feelings. Well, I'm sure those are connected though. Weird. Didn't know. So what updated? I still need to speak to someone about this, but I don't know with who. Maybe we should just go to our detective. Whoops. Because I don't think we can speak with him. Oh, we can. Evidence. What about that letter from Vogel?
I've read this letter from Fabio. It had no addressee, but it was found in Mr. Vogel's pocket.
Werner? Strange. I didn't think the two of them corresponded.
No, but you
I'm
did.
sure there is some explanation. Would you care to read it?
Call me superstitious, but I don't care to read a letter from a dead man.
That is not superstitious, that is very suspicious. What about the book?
Do you recognize this book? Could Matista have borrowed it from your library?
She didn't ask me. How ungrateful.
The things described in the book were inspiration for the rituals you performed?
Do you really believe that blood, symbols, and incantations can resurrect the dead? They are just eerie tales with a mix of occultism and voodoo. My rituals are a stage to show some of the forbidden pleasures.
Wait, so was Fabio dead and did that Matista try to revive him? Resurrect him, whatever. So he didn't die from the stab wound? Is that what you're telling me? But something else? And she found him, probably? Was he in the archive room? Yeah, he is. Speak about what again? This?
I've nothing to say about this.
No, sorry.
I've nothing to say about this. I don't think I can tell you anything about this.
Have you considered Mr. Santos Pinchetti as a suspect?
The snitch?
The snitch?
Have you seen him? I mean, my breath could knock him down. What's so special about him?
As a major domo, he has keys that open all the rooms, including the one to the crime scene. Could have testified only to circumvent suspicion, don't you think? We need to question him.
Right. I'll send our men to fetch him. Stay here.
You didn't think of that yourself.
They brought him in, Mr. Holmes. Here's the key to interrogation room number 7. Mr. Pinchetti didn't even resist, our men said.
Thank you.
So maybe he didn't do it, I don't know.
You can question Mr. Pinchetti in the interrogation room.
Alright, that's all I needed you for, I guess. Room number 7. Let me see. What is that? It's this one. Why is there blood on the walls everywhere, by the way? Oh, evidence! Let's look at this. His possessions. All the keys?
I recognize the key from the altar room among these.
You do? I don't. Good Manchios' will and note. A small note attached to the will says, Santos, my hopeful slug. You begged me to include you in my will, so I did. Here's my latest revision of the will. Good. The text of the will under the note. Santos Pinchetti, the majordomo of the Manchios mansion, receives a jar of mustache wax and a salt lamp that he might always remember his caring employer. Good Manchios. What? That is motive, isn't it?
Mr. Pinchetti, a pleasure to meet you. I'm Sherlock Holmes. I'm helping Constable Oswald.
I've already told him everything I know. I'm only a witness, sir. Everything's in my report.
And I've read it. You forgot to mention that you hold the keys to the room where Fabio was found. I need only to find if the crime was intentional.
But I need to return to my duties.
I doubt the house will fall without you, Mr. Pinchetti.
I agree.
Just be still for a few seconds.
I'm gonna observe him. And also, everybody's arrested. There's no party anymore, so what are you gonna do? You just want to get out of here. Repaired multiple times, so he is poor, I think is what that means. There's something over here. Psoriasis or allergy, inflamed skin. Right. Dyed textile, colored more than once. Yeah, so he's repairing his clothes, so he's very poor. So money is his motive if he did it. Blood splatter, stepped in blood. Terrible miser. Or has financial difficulties. I'll read them both. Santos Pinchetti is the head servant at the Manchios mansion. Despite being employed at the highest position within the household, he appears to be poor. Well, maybe he has a gambling problem or something. Despite having enough money, Mr. Pinchetti spends as little of it as possible. Cheap makeup hides imperfections on his body. It does? In an attempt to look more modern, Mr. Pinchetti has dyed his suit on several occasions. To save even more money, the Majordomo appears to have personally repaired multiple holes in the suit. I think it's this. His body shows symptoms of psoriasis. Mr. Pinchetti hides his damaged skin under layers of makeup. His suit had multiple holes had been patched or sewn. To renovate the suit's look, he dyed it. I think it's this.
You are the majordomo of a rich mansion, and you seem barely able to afford decent clothing. You hide, under heavy makeup, a skin disease that might be treated with more onerous but less harmful means. Do you have money troubles?
I do not have a lot of means. The pay is below what you might expect.
But you could easily change your job if your employer does not meet your elementary needs.
One can change his employer, that is true.
And the blood on your shoe, where does that come from?
I don't actually know. Perhaps from a guest?
I doubt it. I really doubt it. I can provide evidence or ask... Let's ask this first.
Did you know Fabio?
Not personally. He was a frequent guest, and cleaning the mess after his performances was tedious.
Gross.
Mr. Manchios always had a role for him, and mainly the leading one. The parties were always Fabio-centric.
And Matista? Was she as popular as her partner?
Don't tell her I said this, but I do not think so. Mr. Manchios hired her only because Fabio refused to work without her. Mr. Manchios used to see her as a worker. She was tasked with entertaining the guests, unlike Fabio, who could pick and choose.
Interesting. What evidence do we have? Let me see. We confronted him with this already. Nope. What about this?
Mr. Manchios says that you begged him to be included in the heritage. Isn't that a little extreme, even for a majordomo?
He's not only my employer, he's my uncle.
Ah.
And I'm his next of kin. The only one. Mr. Manchios flatly refuses to pay a family member. All I have to do is repay his so-called love, cleaning up the filth after perverts and decadents. He's imprisoned me. The best I can hope for is a new broom. That's why I wanted to have my part of the inheritance.
Why can't you get away?
Bad? You have a roof above your head, a salary, and the status of a majordomo.
For God's sake. I'm forced to dye and stitch my threadbare clothes, and the holes in my shoes are painful. I'm ashamed every time a guest looks at me closely.
Why do you think your uncle treats you this way?
My mother, my uncle's sister, had me illegitimately. She died, and I was given the surname of one of the maids.
But you are entitled to some of the money that belongs to your family.
He thinks not. I was not responsible for my mother's death. I work hard, and he pays me nothing. I feed on the leftovers. While he wastes our estate's property on decadent parties, he paid Fabio handsomely and showered him with expensive gifts for their disgusting relationship.
I knew it. Wait, I want to know more about that, Sherlock. Why can I not ask about that relationship? That's motive for Mr. Manchios. So what happened? Gave Fabio expensive gifts. What? Why not? I think these two are connected. Numerous gifts. What about this? See? According to Santos Pinchetti, and by the content of the letter, it may have been addressed to Kurt Manchios. Yeah, I already knew that. Why does it take you this long? Blood. What about this? Santos Pinchetti failed to notice a bloodstain on the side of his shoe while cleaning himself after the murder. If he did it. Pinchetti has been forced to work for Kurt in the desperate hope of obtaining a heritage, but it hasn't paid off. Can say that again. Or I have accidentally stepped in blood. He stepped in the blood while discovering the crime scene. Or he did this. But I think it's this though. I don't know. He does have a big motive. These two aren't connected. Something changed here. Let me see. The letter found in Vogel's pocket may have been addressed to Kurt Manchios. Santos mentions Manchios gifting strange and expensive gifts to Fabio. In the letter, Fabio mentions gifts he would keep due to someone's temperament. It seems that Fabio wrote this angry letter to Manchios. Yeah, I knew that. Mr. Pinchetti wants to inherit Manchios' property. He believes that his uncle, Mr. Manchios, does not appreciate his effort and dedication. Right, but let's think about this for a bit, because someone put it in Vogel's pocket. The only one who benefits from that is Mr. Manchios, because this Pinchetti wants Manchios gone, so he would not have done that, and Matista also has no motive to do that. So I think he did it. Character portrait. Oh, I think I need to speak to Manchios about this. Santos was arrested, right. Judging by Kurt Manchios' reaction, he hadn't permitted Matista to take it. Yeah, but why does that matter? So let's go speak to him. And also, did something happen in the diary or not? No, I don't think so, not really. Nope. Let's go to Manchios. I think he did it. Or is he? Nope. Another one. Provide evidence. Yeah, but which one? This?
There is undeniable evidence that you were the original recipient of this letter.
And you
What are
lied.
you talking about? Is it addressed to me?
Your protege wanted a fresh start, it seems. This is sufficient to charge you.
Me? Hurt my star? Are you insane that you would accuse me of such a thing?
He did not consider himself as yours. Since you deny everything, let's move on. Do you have any idea as to how the letter could have ended up in Mr. Vogel's pocket?
Of course you do.
You were the detective. Perhaps he took it from Fabio. Werner was a little high.
Why would he? That doesn't make sense. He definitely did it. This?
That's not something I know much about.
Yeah, you do.
I've read the letter about your will. A harsh method of ridiculing Santos. I doubt he will use mustache wax when he wears no mustache to begin with.
True.
Where did you get it? Is the slug here? Tell him. I shouldn't have to provide for him. He's a grown man who shouldn't sit on his uncle's neck. He conceives himself as my only heir.
And who is he to you?
He's a leech on my aging body. He has only added problems to my life since the death of his mother.
I fail to see why you made him your major domo.
True.
He needed to know his place, so I taught him.
Well, you could have just said bye and let him live his life. That's weird. I don't trust it. I still need to speak. Manchios denies any connection with the letter and claims that Vogel took it. Do I need to ask Vogel about that then? Maybe? Let's go back. Because we keep going back and forth with these people. Should have just put them in one room. Wait. Is this?
I have reason to believe that the intended recipient of the incriminating letter may have been Kurt Manchios.
Well, that makes sense. Too bad I can't remember how I came to possess it. Though I did spend quite some time with Mr. Manchios during the party.
Unfortunately, even with an answer, that may still not be enough to clear you with the police. But fear not, I will persevere.
I hope your attempt to put things straight will make up for...
You being on a bender?
Touché.
On a bender. But also, he is the brother of the doctor who killed my mom. So, should I help him at all? Sherlock doesn't know that yet, but I think that's the case. I still need to speak to someone about this. Maybe the cop? Mind Palace. Either Vogel or Manchios is lying. Vogel took the letter on influence. No, I think it's this. Planted the letter. It's this. Washed himself after the murder. What about this? Wait, why is this still red? Let's go speak to the copper. Or maybe, should we ask Matista? Would she know? Where is she? Yeah, we can ask her.
Could Fabio have written this letter to Kurt Manchios?
Oh. That could be. I never thought Mr. Manchios could make Fabio that angry, though.
What do you mean?
Well, Fabio wanted to disassociate from Mr. Manchios. Clients who are in love are both a blessing and a curse.
But Fabio was here tonight.
Money. In our line of work, we can't afford to turn down clients who pay as well as Kurt Manchios.
Was Fabio afraid of Mr. Manchios?
Not at all. The old toad wouldn't dare to do more than sweet talk and touching. Talk can be forgotten, and touching washed away.
So I have a new clue. Fabio was burning bridges. So that's a motive. Shattered Kurt's feelings. Right. So we have this. Kurt Manchios is the murderer. For years, Fabio played with Kurt Manchios' heart and abused his interest in the young performer. When Manchios received yet another rejection, he murdered Fabio and staged a love ritual to avoid suspicion. Kurt Manchios was heartbroken and panicked and did not mean to kill Fabio. The improvised ritual was a desperate attempt to cover up the crime. A prison sentence should be enough, for his harsher punishment is the death of his love or sexual predator. He killed him in cold blood. He staged the crime as a ritual to blame Matista. He planted the letter in Vogel's pocket to avoid suspicion. Manchios has no consideration for the life of others and deserves to be hanged. Is that it? So he did it for sure? Let's go speak to the cop, see what he says. Provide evidence.
This letter proves nothing. Fabio wrote it to Mr. Manchios. It's time to free Mr. Vogel.
Do you really think I'm that naive? I need proof, not words from his friend.
Very well. Mr. Pinchetti told me that Mr. Manchios was lavishing Fabio with expensive and eccentric gifts. The letter mentions rich rewards and attempts to buy Fabio with them. It was written to Mr. Manchios. Who else was showering Fabio with luxuries to buy him? It doesn't fit Mr. Vogel's character.
Look here. We had a deal. Give me the murderer and then take your friend with you. I won't budge otherwise.
Well, fine, but you're just wasting time.
Wait, so do I need to do this? I guess. Wait, can I choose something else? I can also choose Matista. I was afraid of Fabio's growing popularity and ambitions. She wanted to keep him with her for as long as possible. In a last-ditch effort, Matista conducted a love ritual during which she killed Fabio. Crushed soul. Product of a tormented life, she knows no difference between good and evil. She wanted her love to stay with her always. She deserves help. Needs to be treated and have a chance to get over her past in an asylum, which is also kinda like a life sentence. Or an occult murderer. Matista used occultism as a way to avenge a miserable life. She stabbed Fabio to keep him close to her. She should be held accountable for her deeds. Yeah, but I don't think she did it. Or we have Santos. Has worked for his uncle for years in the deep hope of obtaining his heritage. His hostility and humiliation pushed Pinchetti to kill Fabio and frame his uncle. His imprisonment would make Pinchetti the only lawful heir. The only way for Santos Pinchetti to right his wrongs was to be rid of his monstrous uncle. He should be punished for the crime of murder, but he has suffered enough and deserves a fresh start. After a prison sentence. He snapped. After years of disrespect, he devised a plan to be rid of his uncle. However, misery and despair cannot justify murder. He's dangerous and a noose around his neck is all he deserves. Yeah, but why not just kill the uncle then? This is also... No, I really think that Manchios did it. Vogel didn't take the letter. He did this. He accidentally stepped in blood. It's him. So should we choose this or this? You know, the problem I have with this, if we hang him and he's innocent, that's my fault. It's kind of what it feels like. Prison sentence. I don't know, let's do this. See what happens. I don't want to kill someone. Although I do think this is a little bit too soft because he did not mean to kill. I think he did. Yeah, let's do this. Now tell you?
Continue our investigation while I look for the papers.
Wait, so what then? Do I need to go to him and accuse him? It's no. Keep forgetting where he is. Yes, accuse.
The murder of Fabio did not have a ritual purpose, Mr. Manchios. It was staged by a man who wished to distract the investigation.
That might be true. That poor girl Matista wouldn't dare to kill the only man who cared for her. So, Santos.
Mr. Pinchetti snatched at the chance to solve his problems.
Ungrateful little scum. Will he be executed?
But what for? He informed the police as to the crime, that was all. He couldn't stage the ritual, but he found the body, I believe.
I can't believe it. Why did Werner do it?
Mr. Vogel. He had no reason, and he won't be a scapegoat as you plan. You put Fabio's letter in his pocket when he was intoxicated, didn't you?
You can't be serious.
Fingernails? I don't know, what are you gonna say?
You're at the twilight of your life. You have no partner, you have no children. You had feelings, however, for one man. That was Fabio. You loved him. That is, you wished to own him with money and gifts. But he was also a free mind, was he not? He turned his back on you. Quite unjust. Love, so cruel and painful, and Fabio, with his words and deeds, made you feel the more wretched. So you killed him.
You must surely perceive that my sensitive nature wouldn't allow me to hurt anyone.
Is that true?
We can very often deduce someone's life by their shoes or their fingernails. You are a meticulous person, but this murder was fairly traumatic and filthy. After you stabbed Fabio, you were covered in blood. You panicked and neglected to rinse the soap from under your fingernails. The devil is in the details, Mr. Manchios.
Nonsense. I missed it simply because of the busy schedule of the party.
Of course, a staged murder was certainly not planned. You staged the murder as a satanic ritual. It was easy for you since you were the one who wrote the scenarios for the parties. It was your way of avoiding suspicion. A respectable man in his 60s,
Early 60s.
who hosts the cream of Cordona's society, cannot possibly be a murderer. But the guests who behave like animals in his mansion, of course, one of them could have killed Fabio.
I did oversee a few of the rituals, but I did not stage Fabio's death.
It was a crime of passion, I think.
Fabio played with your feelings. That was painful to realize. You spent so much time and effort to be with Fabio, but he didn't respond in the way that you would have liked. You wanted to be loved, but Fabio shattered your dreams. In the smoking lounge, he teased and mocked you. He wanted you to suffer by offering himself to others. The deception was unbearable. You were passionate, and so you struck him. Once you understood your mistake, it was too late. You were afraid, so you staged the ritual. With such a story, you might be sentenced to a few years. It might clean your conscience, and soon the case will be forgotten.
No. No.
This is my decision. I'll talk to Constable Oswald to see what I can do.
Wait, is he innocent? Is he? Should inform the constable of my findings. He probably has something to share with me as well. Interesting. Let me see. Oh, right, about my mummy. But I also think this was wrong, maybe. So I'm gonna check that real quick. Alright, so I checked it, and apparently, whichever one you choose, they will all deny their involvement. So we don't really know who did it.
There's no fool like an old fool. Kurt Manchios did it. A young boy played with the heart of an old man. The latter couldn't handle it. The evidence I obtained clearly shows that the quarrel was not intended to end badly. It was an accident.
Showing pity towards your own kind, Holmes.
Own kind?
Whatever.
All I'm saying is that prison won't take much away from an old and crushed man.
Fine. A big name like that will still give me a promotion.
Well, you're welcome.
As
You
for
did nothing.
my part, not everything was in place. Perhaps some documents were transferred somewhere else, but I couldn't find a trace of them. Then I remembered. The discarded document drawers where we put the lost papers or the badly labelled ones, including the crime scene report of Violet Holmes's case. Everything I've found is on the desk here. Take it.
Oh,
Your
thank you.
persistence has saved me.
Yeah, well, we had a deal after all. Your friend is free then. You can leave.
Good luck, Constable.
Case complete. Oh, I do get a lot of money. Finally, for once, because we get paid crappy. Is it this? Report. Officers arrived to find the deceased, identified as Mrs. Violet Holmes, lying in the garden of Stonewood Manor. In the garden. Visual inspection showed the victim to be thoroughly soaked with a deep vertical incision 2 inches in length down her throat. Her face was swollen and covered in red blotches. Likely cause of death, hypoxia. Awaiting confirmation from medical examiner. Main suspect, Otto Richter, was arrested on the scene. The body was sent for autopsy. Flashback.
Garden. There's a garden behind our manor. How could I forget? That's where it all happened, where it all went wrong.
Sherry, it looks like you've almost found what you wanted.
That I did, and also we're getting close to the point of no return. Let me see. Oswald found a copy of the missing report on my mother's death. He left it on the table. Right, we read that. So what happened? My mother drowned. A throat wound could either be a final humiliation by a killer or a desperate attempt to save her, or she didn't drown. Tracheotomy. What is that? It makes no sense to do this if she was drowning. I think this. I don't know though. Right, so I'm gonna go outside, change my costume.
Oh, you did it, Sherlock! The case is closed and all rewards belong to the winner. Bravo!
It is merely the triumph of the truth.
Is it? No compromises? No lies? You're happy with your decisions?
Kinda. An acceptable outcome.
It was the best decision I could obtain. The truth must be told in the way it is most acceptable.
You're making progress, Sherlock. I was right to believe in you. By the way, did you get that precious information about your mother? Oh, not that you must.
Yes, I did.
Forgive my intrusion in such a personal matter. I simply worry I'm failing to be of much help to you.
You are?
Actually, you were. For some reason, all the archives on the case had disappeared. This was a rare opportunity to obtain the impossible.
Outrageous. Perhaps someone found the truth unpleasant. Society usually rejects those who speak with too much honesty, doesn't it?
A comfortable lie is often preferred to an uncomfortable truth. Still, I believe that the latter should prevail, and I cannot remain silent.
That's quixotism at its best. Your mere truth cannot defeat institutions, systems, and power. Etiquette, religion, marriage, they're all lies told to preserve connections, love, and sanity, and it's all corruptible.
Lies destroy human dignity. How could you make a free decision without any knowledge of the truth?
Are we really free to decide anything in this world, Sherlock?
Spare me the lecture.
I get enough obnoxious pontification from my brother, so please, spare me your lecture.
Forgive my love for moral philosophy. I know I tend to ramble.
Yeah, you do.
You're a walking contradiction, Sherlock. You refuse to lie to others, but constantly lie to yourself. How long until the train comes off the track?
Be
I can't
nice.
look away, but perhaps I should take a few steps back. You're an accident waiting to happen, dear. Until then, I shall bid you adieu.
Well, that wasn't very nice. I got you out of jail. You could have at least thanked me. Instead, you insulted me. Thank you for watching. Curious what happens next? Subscribe to my page so you don't miss anything.